Welcome to my channel. I'm back. I'm Simone Henry. I have a co-host today. I won't say he's a guest. He knows probably way more than I do about marketing. And this is not an interview. We are going to be tackling this topic together. So this is Nate Grossman. His company is called GHB Unlimited, not limited. I like that unlimited. And I'll tell you, we'll talk more about his specialty later, but for right now, we want to get into our topic. So if you are here today and you want to get into our topic, the topic today is 6 ways to attract leads on Autopilot. So let's dig in. First of all, you need to know who you're targeting, right, Nate?
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Otherwise, you're just kind of throwing darts and hoping for the best. So, yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, knowing who you're targeting helps you to know, well, who they are, where they're hanging out, and what their problem is, and if your solution is actually going to help them. So when you figure out and when you decide who is your target audience, then that's going to help you as we go through these lead attraction tactics that we're going to be talking about today. Because when you know your target audience, you're going to know which tactics are going to work the best and where to deploy these tactics out in the world. And then the other thing I wanted to mention before we go through our 6 ways is that you want to, as you're going out and you are targeting people and you're putting your information out there, you're putting things in place to attract your leads. One thing I wanted to mention is that it is very, very important to set up your automations, to follow up with them, and to set appointments easily. One thing you don't want to do, because if you're going to be setting up your systems to be getting people coming to you on a consistent basis automatically, you don't want to be chained to your desk, going back and forth with somebody in the DMs to schedule a call, right? You want that to be automated as well. So let's dig in. So I put together an outline yesterday, and Nate said, let's organize these based on inbound and outbound tactics. So first of all, Nate, tell us, what is the difference between inbound marketing and outbound marketing?
I guess another way of putting it is a pull and push method. Is another term in the industry, I guess, for it. But the idea is that if you are creating information that people want and people need and find useful, then they'll come to you. And so that is an inbound, right? So they're inbound towards you. The opposite being outbound, where you are actively seeking your customers. That may involve various different methods that we're going to be discussing. It's the difference between you kind of like sitting there and letting them fall in your basket, or going out there and casting a net. That's the difference, I guess.
Okay, so one is outbound is going out and getting them, and inbound is they're coming to you.
Yep.
All right.
That's the simplest way to put it. Yep.
Okay, cool. Cool. I know I have to keep that straight in my head. I think the words are a little bit counterintuitive.
Yeah, as with anything, jargon can mess it all up. So, it's a pretty simple concept, really.
Okay, so let's start with inbound. And our first one is content marketing. And we've all heard about content marketing, right? It's when you are putting out SEO friendly content. You're sharing valuable content in different formats where people are learning from you, they're being inspired by you, they're being entertained by you. And you're sharing this content in different formats, whether it's video, images, text. So what types of content marketing do you find helpful? Neat.
Okay, so I want to preface my response with a little quote here, if you'll indulge me.
Okay,
So,
sure.
the quote goes like this: How do I get my leads, prospects, and customers to know what they need to know, to believe what they need to believe, in order to do what they need to do? And this is the essence of your attraction, methods that you're employing to attract customers to you in some form or fashion. And so content at its very root is about the message that you're creating for your customers, right? So in order to do a good job of creating good content, you need to think this through and answer these questions for each thing that you are creating. How do I get leads? How do I get my leads, prospects, and customers to know what they need to know? Going out there, you've answered these questions. You've figured out what it is that you're going to say. There's different methods for putting it out there. Just running down a list here, we have blog posts, newsletters, YouTube, ebooks, for example. But once you have the answers to that question, it could make production of that content relatively simple and easy to replicate, but you're not duplicating efforts and all that kind of stuff. So anyway.
Absolutely. I love that quote that you gave earlier. Know what they need to know, believe what they need to believe in order to do what they need to do. Did I get that right?
Yes, exactly.
And
yeah.
that speaks to why you're putting out content.
Yeah.
I feel like marketers tell people all the time, or tell business owners all the time, you need to be putting out content. You need to be putting out content, right? You need to be on a YouTube channel. You need to be doing a podcast. You need to be writing a blog. You need to be posting articles and writing a newsletter and posting stuff out on social media and all that kind of stuff. So depending on where your audience is, based on your target market, like we talked about earlier, you're going to choose which avenues you're going to use. But the purpose is to change hearts and minds, and to indoctrinate them, and to draw them to you based on the content that you're sharing. I love that.
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
that.
If you wanted to break it down to 3 questions. So what do I want them to do? What do I need them to believe to do that? And then what do I need them to know in order to believe that, in order to do that thing?
That's so interesting. That kind of reminds me of this framework. This mentor that I follow, his name is Myron Golden, and he came up with this. And he said he came up with this from Genesis chapter 1. And
Wow,
you have to be reading it in a specific way to really come up with this. But he read the creation story and he came up with this framework. We do have. You first have to be in order to be able to do, in order to be able to have what you want to have. So you have to become the person who can do the thing in order to be able to have what you want to have, which I like, mind blown, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mind blown. So amazing. So yeah.
I guess
so
that's kind of like the evolution of the what do you call it, the experts, right? Expert tip videos and things like that. Be, do, have.
Yeah.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, absolutely. So your content should be designed to help people they need to know what they need to know. They need to believe what they need to believe so that they can do the things that they need to do. And also build some know, like, and trust. Also, they need to understand that you are the person, you are their person. So when you are speaking to your target audience, that target audience needs to hear you and to know that you are their person. You are the one that they should come to when they need to learn specific things, and when they need to believe specific things, and when they need to get some things done. Whatever it is that you do to help them in their lives, to take them from where they are to where they should be. You are the one to do that. And so having that content out there shares who are the authority on your thing, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And if we're going back to the topic of our video here, 6 ways to generate leads on Autopilot. So content marketing is a way to generate leads, and it's sort of like you're crystallizing the information, right? You're encapsulating the information that you want them to know, that will hopefully get them to take the action that you want them to take when you're not there. So,
Right.
that's the beautiful thing. If you've thought this through and you're doing it right, and you have all the stuff set up properly on the backside, then this could literally happen. I just had somebody sign up for an ebook download at 3 a.m. yesterday morning. Was I awake? No. Was I going to send him an
Absolutely.
email response? No. But did he
Right.
get an email response? Yes, he did.
Yes.
Instantly. In that email was a link for him to download the ebook while I was sleeping. That's exactly
Absolutely.
what you want to have happen. So,
That's what you want to have happen. And then your content, the kind of content you're putting out, you want that content to be fairly evergreen so that it doesn't matter when people are looking at it or watching it or reading it. It's still relevant to them. And there should be content for newbies, and there should be content for people who have been following you for a while. So,
yeah, there's a whole concept of content mapping, and the content
mm,
mapping is like attaching it to the buyer's journey, which again goes back to the quote, that I mentioned, where you're meeting your customer where they are in their journey to you. Your ultimate goal in any transaction, if assuming that you're selling something, is to get them to buy from you. But at any given point in any given market, whatever you're trying to sell, only 3 to 5% of people are actually ready to buy. And so the question is, what happens to the other 95 and 97% of people out there just kind of swimming around, right?
right.
You're trying to usher them into your funnel, your web, whatever you want to call it, get them to perform the action that you want them to perform. And so, yeah, you need to create that content for people who don't even know that they have a problem, but you're educating them. Or people are at the place where, okay, they know that there's a problem, and now they're starting to do their research, all the way down to the people who are fully aware of the problem. They know what's available in the market to help solve it, and now they're ready to choose. And so you need to be creating content for people at all those different stages. So,
Absolutely. All right, so let's go on to our second inbound tactic, SEO. I'm going to let you talk more about this because I don't really do SEO much.
yeah,
I
yeah,
do know that there are elements of SEO that, pretty much all SEO needs to include, your relevant keywords, meta tags, outbound links, inbound links, and of course, relevant content on your website relevant to those keywords. So,
yeah. And any cursory search on Google will tell you that SEO is ever evolving. I'll put it kindly. So it's some people would tell you that it's a complete hot mess, and it's approachable at
you
its
know what?
core. Oh, go ahead.
Let me interrupt you right there
Yeah, yeah.
because one thing I did not do was that I did not define SEO. So some of you
Oh,
might be
okay.
watching and you might be thinking, what in the heck are they talking about? So SEO stands for search engine optimization. It is all the things you do on your website and on your content to make it searchable so that your website and your content ranks higher on Google search engines and other search engines. There's Bing and there's a couple others out there. People are using them. They are.
Mhm.
Not nearly as much as Google. Google dominates, and because Google dominates, Google kind of sets the rules, and everybody tends to operate based on what Google likes and wants. So when we're talking about that inbound attracting leads, when people are searching on Google or other search engines, and they're putting in their keywords, they're asking questions of the search engine, and the search results that come up, you want to be high in that list of search results that come up, because if you are lower on the list, very few people will see you because very few people are scrolling through the list. Or Google used to be set up in pages. I don't think it's set up in pages anymore. It's just kind of a continuous scroll. Well, people aren't gonna, and maybe they made it that way so that because people don't go page to page, and they tend to scroll more than they page, than they use the pages. So maybe that's to help the people who are further down on the list. I don't know. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's the point of SEO. You want to be higher in that search, in the rankings, because
yeah,
people don't scroll.
and going back to what I was talking about with the customer, excuse me, the buyer's journey.
Hmm.
When people are at that point, that the 3 to 5% who are ready to buy, okay, they're the ones who are actually searching on Google for keywords related to your product or service, and they're the ones who are actually ready to buy. That's search intent, right? And
That's a
so,
good point.
but the problem is that many people only cater to those individuals at the expense of the bigger market, and so you got to be careful with that.
We also talk about being able to get access to the people who are doing some searching.
Yep. And then there's some clever ways to do that. Yep. So as far as like an inbound kind of set it up and let the leads come into you, that is one of the key advantages to SEO. You are creating content that is considered helpful. Google is very big on helpful content. And in order for it to be helpful, it has to be written for humans and not for search engines, or not for, bots and algorithms and all this kind of stuff. But, and so that's kind of what search engine optimization is about. You take into account Google's rules and recommendations for optimizing content, and, make it human friendly. Make it attached to EEAT: expertise, experience, authority, and trustworthiness. Those are the crucial pieces of search engine optimization and the content that you're actually creating that would fit into SEO optimized content, right? If you can do that correctly, and Google will reward you by sending people to your content. Because you think about it, Google exists, it sells ads, right? It lives on people using it and relying on it for quality results when they do a search. And so if you have quality material that Google can use, it will reward you by sending people to you, right? So that's kind of the kernel here that we're looking at. And again, if you have your forms, and you have lead capture types of things available on your website where people can find out more information about you, give you, exchange their email for something of value that you can give to them, then that means you can put that information into a follow-up sequence and nurture them, and all on autopilot. That's the goal here. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Okay, so next on our list is social media marketing. So with social media marketing, we are concerned mostly about helpful content as well as engagement. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. So the social media algorithms are constantly changing. Again, same as search engine optimization. It's all about adapting and trying to maximize. In this case, well, yeah, I guess it's the same as search engine optimization, but always take into consideration that these things are out there in order to generate revenue for the companies that are providing them. Facebook allows you to use Facebook for free because they sell ads, and their entire algorithm is built on selling more ads, right? So just as an example, just take one. So on Facebook, if you have a text post of any kind, you have, by some estimates, around a 0.05 to 0.07% chance that someone's actually going to see it. And that's on purpose. That's by design. They want you to pay for ads that will bump that up into people's feeds. if you have a photo or an image that you attach to your post, it bumps it up to maybe about 10% chance that someone will see it. However, and this is a beautiful thing right now on all platforms, if you are using short form, vertical format video, it bumps your chances of that being seen to around 17 to 20%, something like that. It's a huge, huge boost, and it's an organic boost. And so just by posting a short vertical video and then attaching that to, having someone click on a link to go to your website, you can generate traffic to your website, have them sign up for something, on there, have them go to a blog post, which is free information. But then on the blog post, you could have a form in there if you want to find out more, or if you want our handy guide or something like that, download our ebook. They can click on that, and then boom, they're in your funnel and automated everything, hands off, right? And so that's one method, I would say, of using social media. But engagement is crucial, especially on LinkedIn, which is another beast entirely. But
Yeah, I'm actually in a group where the group leader teaches how to grow on LinkedIn, and he teaches 5 points in the framework. It's connect, comment, make a high value offer, recommend, and endorse. And do these 5 things, then for your LinkedIn followers and profile will grow, and more people will start seeing you. So yeah, so having that engagement is very crucial. And we've been talking about the valuable content, and also especially on social media, because people tend to, it was created mostly for entertainment, for people to connect with each other, and families that are on there that are just gossiping back and forth with the cousins, and people are stalking old boyfriends and old girlfriends, and stuff like that. They're not necessarily there.
It gets worse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not there to conduct business. They're not there to buy stuff. So in order to break through that, you have to be sharing content that's going to make them stop and pay attention, and that's going to make them want to engage with you. What I've learned, especially on Facebook, I know like a lot of younger people aren't even on Facebook. I'm working with a client now who's like, Facebook what? I'm on Instagram. One of the things that I've learned is that when I share my personal stories, and like I'll share a story like last year, it was May last year, when I was sick and in the hospital for a week, and my mom came down. She flew down from DC. I'm in Georgia. She flew down and she stayed with me in the hospital for 3 days or 4 days. And she was very interested. She was very nice to the nurses, and everybody just liked coming by my room because, my mom had food, and she had like a whole kitchen going in my room. And, she was just very entertaining. But it was just fun spending time with her. And I just told that story on Facebook, and that got a lot of engagement because it was a personal story. Whereas most of the posts that I post about, like, my marketing plans and my offers, and I may even post something about like where I'm teaching about a marketing tactic or whatever. I get a lot less engagement on that. People want to know about you. They want to know about what's going on in your life. So, you have to post different kinds of posts. You can't have all of your posts be the same thing. I've seen some posts where, some feeds where like everything that they post is a Bible verse or an inspirational quote. And I'm thinking, are you trying to get people to, are you just doing an inspiration every day, or do you actually want to get customers here? What's going on? Because an inspirational quote is not going to do it. Right?
Yeah.
Those calls to action are crucial.
Yeah, totally, definitely. Especially if you're using social media for your business, you want to get them to take an action. And that goes back to the quote that I said, at the beginning there, what do they need to know in order to get them to do what you want them to do, right? And so that is what you're posting on social media. You're posting something that is interesting, captivating, stops the scroll, gets them to look at what you have to offer, and then take an action.
Absolutely.
And if you have it set up right, then that action that they take can get you an email and put them into your funnel, and you don't even you haven't lifted a finger other than to push the button to submit the post, right? You've written the post at some point, or I mean, you could have AI do it too, I guess, but really wanted to be hands off, but I strongly caution against that. But having interesting, engaging stuff that gets people to stop the scroll. People want to see personal things. That being said, there were people that were gaming that on LinkedIn, and have LinkedIn expressly changed their algorithm to reduce the viral factor of postings on LinkedIn.
Interesting.
And they have also, LinkedIn is a very interesting entity in and of itself in terms of like social media. But another piece of their algorithm change was that long form content would be shown to a wider audience. So if the algorithm sees that people are clicking on it and finding it useful, it will then show it to people that you have no connection to at all, like third level connections, in an effort to expose people who would never have come in contact with you to helpful content. And so long form helpful content on LinkedIn is also getting a boost.
Okay. So that's why they want you to contribute to articles and write articles and stuff like that.
Then that goes back to SEO, because LinkedIn has gamified or has figured out the algorithm for SEO, so that people, if you contribute to those articles, that can actually show up in Google searches now.
Yeah, I've seen LinkedIn articles, showing up in Google searches that LinkedIn wants me to contribute to. And I'm thinking, should I contribute to the article, or should I write this whole article myself and be the authority?
Yeah. Well, like I said, those articles, the collaborative articles, are actually, they are SEO'd, like they have been engineered to appear in search.
Yeah. Okay.
And so you automatically get an increased chance that someone's going to come across your answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe I'll do both.
Write some words. Yeah. Why not?
Maybe I'll do both. Sure. Write the put my comments in there, but also write a full article myself and have it on the LinkedIn platform.
And one thing I'll say about engagement on LinkedIn, it is true that the algorithm enjoys engagement. There's no doubt about that. They want to see that you are engaging, and they want to see if people are engaging with your posts, right? But there's also an added component to their algorithm that doesn't really necessarily appear in other search or other social media platforms. And that was because they, through research, have figured out, first of all, there's about 1 billion users of LinkedIn, right? Something like that. It's a huge number, but only like 3 million are actually considered content creators on the platform, which is a minuscule number. And actually, from what I understand, from what I've read, if you post something, if you create something on LinkedIn within a 90-day window, you are actually considered a content creator on LinkedIn. Just one thing in 90 days. Which is far more than the average. Okay.
Yeah.
So 95 to 97% of people on LinkedIn do not post, and furthermore, they do not engage. So they've had to adapt this thing that they call dwell time. So it sees how long people are actually looking at your post, and they factor that into the algorithm, then feeds it into other people's LinkedIn feeds, right?
Okay, and so that's why the long form works better.
Yeah,
It's going to
exactly.
hold people's attention longer.
Yeah.
Or-
And even if they
or-
haven't put any likes, they haven't commented, it doesn't
Mhm.
matter. 95% of people don't do any of that. So,
That's
you
true.
know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Lurkers.
exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of lurkers out there. All right. Let's talk about some outbound tactics, right?
Yeah.
First up is cold email marketing. Cold email marketing is when you have a list of emails of people who don't know you. They may be your ideal target. They may actually be looking for what it is you do. They may be looking for a solution to their problem, and you happen to solve that problem, but they don't know you. They don't know you're there. So you have this list and you start emailing them and you're sharing with them about what you do, and you're letting them know that, hey, I'm here, I can solve your problem. That is email marketing, or cold email marketing. Cold list is people who don't know you. Do you do any cold emailing, Nate?
So, yes, I do. And I'm actually gearing up to do a campaign around cold emailing. I've been accumulating some email addresses here in the last few weeks. I'm going to use those in a cold outreach program, and been using some interesting tools to gather those emails when just from them visiting my website, for example, and they haven't filled out a form. I'm able to get their email addresses, which is pretty interesting and kind of spooky, but
Yeah, a little spooky.
yeah.
It's so funny. That's one of the things that trips you out about, like when you might be out there browsing the internet, and then the next day or later on that day, you're on Facebook and you're browsing Facebook, and an ad comes up that is exactly the company that you were just looking at, that you were browsing earlier or whatever. And it's like, oh my gosh, they're following me. As a regular person, it's spooky, but as a marketer, it's a fantastic tool because you're putting your ad in front of the people, the exact people who are looking for your thing. They're looking for what it is you do. And if they were looking at maybe a competitor. So this tool that Nate is talking about, he introduced me to it a couple of weeks ago. And so I decided to get it too. It really is a spooky tool. People visit your website and you may have a pop-up on there that says, hey, put your email address in here and I'll send you this. And they decide, no, I don't want to do that. And they leave and they go someplace else. Well, this tool still gives you their name and email address, maybe even a physical address and some other information about them.
Phone
And
number.
yeah, and their phone number. So you can even call them up on the phone and say, hey, you just visited my website, but you didn't get the thing. Are you still interested? What's the issue? What made you stop by? Blah, blah, blah,
Yeah, and I would say, me anyway, I don't want them to know that I knew that they were on the website, because again, that's creepy. So I kind of like, for me, my cold outreach, they come to my website, I get their email, and then about an hour later, I have my automation set up so that it kicks out an email that says basically, hey, are you interested in learning more about what we have to offer, or something along those lines? If not, well, here are some blog posts. And so I give them the option. They can reply back and, we can continue the conversation, or they can click on a blog post, which I get, notified that somebody has interacted with the email that I sent out, tags them as an engaged lead, and then puts them into another sequence if they click on it, right?
Okay. Oh, nice. I like
So
that.
it's showing interest, and I'm putting further down into my funnel, right? And so that's the idea.
Very cool.
I could be doing this, for example.
Yes.
you know?
Hey, we're talking about doing this on autopilot, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The possibilities are endless, really. So we were talking earlier about how SEO catches the people who are ready to buy. They're ready to take action and they're searching for a particular thing as they're ready to take action. I'll talk about what this tool does. Does it help with that side of things? People who
Yeah.
are searching.
So another aspect of this is, I think we have the Trump administration to thank for this, by the way. Basically, we can get addresses for people who are performing searches for keywords on the internet and filled out a form. They don't even know you exist, but they've performed a search and we are interested in those keywords. And so we can get their email address. And this includes all the search engines, Bing, Yahoo, whatever. And if people are doing searches inside websites as well.
Now, that's amazing. Imagine
and it could be any other website. It's not your website even.
Right. It's not even
they've
my
just
website.
performed a
It's
search.
somebody else's website. So you can get contact information from people who are searching your competitor's website. They're interested in what you do because they're searching in a website for somebody who does the same thing and maybe serves the same audience. But you don't know if they've interacted with them. You don't know if they filled out a form or if they're, in talks or schedule a call with them or anything. But you can kind of come in surreptitiously and start
throw your hat in the ring there, right?
Throw your hat in the ring, exactly.
If they're doing a search, then that means that they are probably problem aware and they're solution aware and they're getting ready to make a choice.
Yes.
And so you have a chance at that point to disrupt their choice making and say, oh, by the way, have you checked us out?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's talk about, what about direct mail? Direct mail is actually still a thing.
Believe it or not, what's old is new, as they always say. That's everything comes back around. And so kind of like bell bottoms. It's maybe that was back in the 90s. Anyway.
True, they did come back in the 90s. I remember that.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Basically, it's the age-old idea of do whatever your competition is not doing, Don't follow the crowd, whatever adage you want to use. That's kind of the idea here.
I've been hearing
the price of stamps are going up, but
yeah, but it's still cost effective to do direct mail. Yeah, and it still works, especially if you are unique in your field. If other people in your field aren't doing direct mail, but you do direct mail, something different is coming into your customers, your potential prospects' mailboxes. They're not necessarily expecting. Like you said, a lot of people are getting numb to the social media, and they're getting numb to all the videos, and they're getting numb to all the emails, and so direct mail is making an impact.
You have people that just flat out don't trust anything they see on the internet.
Oh, that's true too.
They don't trust reviews. They don't trust anything posted on social media. I mean, I think that's a growing number, frankly, but and with good reason. Type of thing is really great for local businesses, especially like people who want to reach customers within a certain geographical area. You can actually target geographical area and send cards to those people. You can build campaigns out of this, automated campaigns. You can have a little QR code on the actual postcard. People scan it, and it takes them to your website so they can fill out a form. That could be a method for generating a lead out of them. It depends on what call to action that you have. You could just want them to call in, which at that point, that becomes more hands-on, obviously. But you can set these direct mail campaigns up to be automated and hands-free. So that is interesting. And again, you're targeting, it's based on a certain geographical location, zip codes, regionally, or you can actually target based on like what type of business they have, business owners, homeowners, for real estate agents, for example. Like a lot of this could be great for a lot of different industries. So
absolutely. Okay, and last on our list for outbound is ads. So most of the time when we think about ads, and because we're in a digital world, we're in an internet world, We think of social media ads, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn allows you to do ads, YouTube, you can do YouTube ads. And most of those are, they're, they're pay per click, or is that just Google? I'm not a big ads person necessarily because there are several different payment structures, right?
Yeah, there are. Pay-per-click is probably the most common one, I would say. There's other things like where the ads are based on the number of impressions that people are. How many people might have seen this? You know, the number of
Right? Because
impressions.
there could be an impression. It's sitting on someone's screen, but that doesn't
Yeah,
necessarily mean that they're watching it
yeah.
or that they're going to
But
interact with it.
it's the idea that people need to see something 7 times before they it
Gotta be
sticks in
able
their
to see it.
brain, right?
Right.
Um,
And ads
awareness
are good for that.
campaigns are about
Yeah.
that. You know, if you're trying to just build a brand awareness, that impressions is probably going to be the way you want to go, because
Mhm.
you're just trying to blanket and get as many people out there to see your brand as possible.
You got to get used to seeing you. Otherwise, there's
Exactly.
no brand familiarity.
Yeah.
Right.
And then a lot of times you would couple that awareness campaign with a click campaign then. So that the people who
So,
are showing interest at that awareness stage, you can retarget
mhm.
them with a click. Yeah.
Retarget them with a ad that's going to ask them to
Yep.
take an action.
Exactly.
Okay. So you're taking them from cold to warm to hot,
Yep.
ultimately.
Yep.
Okay. So then there's search ads. And then there are the search ads are the ads that you see on your search engines, Google, your Bing, and others. I don't know if Yahoo still has a search engine. I still have a Yahoo
I don't.
email address, but
That's
I
a
never,
good question.
use it as a
Yeah,
search engine.
I don't know. Actually, that's
You
funny.
know, Google is a
Nice.
verb these days. So
Yeah, yeah.
we think
Like
about
Kleenex.
searching,
Well,
we
that's not
always say Google.
not a verb.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, social media ads work really well. Facebook ads, yeah, the Facebook ad platform is infuriating. I'll just say that. But
They've been cost effective, but I have heard that that the price doubles every year.
yeah, who knows?
That's
I
what
mean, there's all
somebody
kinds of
said.
shady stuff going on. I mean, Google admitted in a congressional hearing that they basically doctor the auctions on their ads. So can't trust anything anymore. So
Well, there you go.
there's an
But at the
artificial
same
floor,
time,
or I guess, yeah.
yeah, at the
Yeah.
same time, though, these are the platforms that we have available to us.
Yep, yep, you got it.
Social
It's
media, search
Yep,
engines. The last one on the list, you have
yeah,
geo-targeted display ads. I think
yeah,
there is a service that I'm white labeling that
yeah,
does like 30-second TV commercials
yeah,
that
oh yeah.
are
Mhm.
geo-targeted, and
Geo
they're
ads.
formatted for, and radio too. They're formatted for your devices, and because most people are watching videos on their devices, and and you can play your 30-second commercial on a lot of these streaming platforms, mere networks like Oprah and CNN and MSNBC and ESPN and some of these others, but they are geo-targeted. You're choosing a particular zip code that you want your ad to target. It's pretty affordable considering directly to the cable companies. It's you're paying double or triple. So these platforms are available. Yeah, and like you said, they're rigged. And
Yeah.
Google say that their motto was like "Don't do evil" or "Do no evil" or something like that
Oh,
a while back.
yeah,
Did they
yeah.
change that?
That they did. They dropped that a while ago. I think it's
Now
been a
it's
couple
okay to
years
be
ago.
evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
Well,
problem
don't
is
read
if
too much into that, but
too much into it. The thing is though, if we want to reach our potential customers, we want to reach our prospects, these are the tools that we have available, and we can use a variety of them. We don't have to use Google. You can stay with Facebook, Instagram. You can go to TikTok. You can go to YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google anyway. You can run ads on TV, radio. You can go to social media, but either all of it. I did a series a while back about owning versus renting, right? If you are using the platform for free, you are the product. You're posting, and as you're sharing and as you're interacting and engaging, you're sharing your data. And that data is being sold to the people who are willing to pay. People who pay, they buy that data so that they know how to target for their products and services. This is how our world is working these days. But if you have something that is going to help people in their lives, well then being able to find those people and to let your prospects know, let these leads know that you are there and that you have something that can help them. You've outlined 6 different ways that you can do that. Your audience, then there are multiple ways that you can do that. Before we leave, we want to make sure that as you are pulling in leads, and Nate was speaking about this earlier, you want to have those leads come into your funnel. You want to nurture them and convert them easily. Have them on your calendar or have them purchase your core product easily. And spoke a couple of times about a funnel, about bringing these leads into his funnel and automate that. Both of us are automation specialists. We both do automation. He has specialties in WordPress web design and also in lead generation. I do funnels and automation. I'm an automation specialist as well. And then my products also include, with those funnels, some lead generation tactics as well. So, package the whole thing together, because putting together a website and having a nice funnel is great, but ultimately it's just a pretty face if nobody sees it, right? You want to be drawing people to it. And so that's why the lead generation, and that's why these, acting leads on autopilot is so crucial. So that, and the autopilot part is crucial too, because like Nate said, people are searching the web 3 o'clock in the morning. You don't necessarily want to jump out of bed to go and send them an email, because it's crucial for them if they want to download your free thing and want that email to go to them right away, right? So setting up that automation that it works whether you are at your desk or not is very crucial to you being able to get to that place where you're working more on your business than in your business, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's
exactly.
We all want to get to that point.
You're either trading time or you're trading money in your business, and any time that you can save yourself time eventually translates into money, right? And so that's what we're talking about, like saving time, lowering the option between you and the customer making a purchase. It's a win-win all the way around. Yeah, I don't see any downsides.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you are running your business and you need help adapting to the changes in social media and search engines, you would like to set your lead generation up on autopilot, both Nate's and my information will be in the description. So feel free to click our links and reach out to us. Otherwise, in the meantime, subscribe to this channel. Like this video, help us out to help us grow our channels. I would like to monetize my YouTube channel this year, so help me out with that. Share this video, and also feel free to comment your biggest takeaway and let us know. And also let us know what other topics you would like us to talk about. So, in the meantime, I'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.